Good afternoon, everybody. During this live stream, I'm going to be chasing down severe storms in far northeastern Arkansas and western Tennessee. I do think that the best target area for an isolated tornado threat is in western Tennessee, where those low-level winds are a little bit more backed out of the due southerly direction. There's one supercell that's approaching the Mississippi River to the west of Dyersburg that's struggling a little bit. Storm to the south of that, showing some transient supercell characteristics. So I'm just heading east. I don't necessarily want to go after the severe storms that are to the north of Little Rock right now because I believe that the surface winds are a little bit too westerly back there. Westerly surface winds, unidirectional profiles, plenty of bulk shear to get supercellular characteristics, but only just enough to have mesocyclones that are elevated above the ground and not to be able to intensify into low-level mesocyclones capable of producing tornadoes. Now you can see a beautiful cumulus field in place out here. 5% tornado threat, so pretty robust tornado probabilities throughout the area. Some storms are trying to build off to the northeast of the severe warning storm. It looks pretty good there to the north of Little Rock too, but wasn't my target area, so sticking to my guns. Some west of Dyersburg seems to be consolidating its couplet while it's weakening a little. Potential renegade trying to go up just to my northwest as well. Keeping an eye on that one. Just south of Newport. Also, there's storm in the northeast of Cherry Valley I'm keeping a close eye on. Osceola, north of Memphis. It is live, but one thing that you're learning through these live storm chases is that storm chasing isn't all action, non-stop tornadoes as depicted in Storm Chasers, but it's a lot of buildup, a lot of busts, a lot of mistakes, a lot of driving, gas station burritos, and that kind of thing. And most of the time you're just driving for hours until you find yourself within range of that supercell storm and that developing tornado, and then you can start getting close to them and dominating. This is the real storm chasing out here. And this convection is a bit capped back here behind the lead round. Storm over Conway right now is the most interesting, and that's where I got my Big Mac. Tornado potential, not as high, but it is a severe thunderstorm. Little elevated mesocyclone in the east side of Conway. We're looking for tornadoes here, and I think that that's going to happen to the east of that severe storm, somewhere along this prefrontal trough, maybe along this boundary, west-east oriented boundary here. Stretches from southeast of Heber Springs, south of Newport, through Cherry Valley, north of Memphis. Great weather out there in the Las Vegas area during monsoon season, especially debris flows. You even get tornadoes there. My roommate Aaron Rupert, he's a professional poker player now, and he is a graduate student in meteorology, one of the top students at the University of Oklahoma. He lives out in Las Vegas now and sent me video of his bearded dragon getting 60-mile-an-hour winds looking out the window. A great meteorologist. He was also on Storm Chasers. Aaron Rupert driving the scout vehicle there. Made a career out of mathematics, playing poker, counting cards, sports, handicapping, that kind of thing. Just an ex-math savant, incredible at mathematics. He's not allowed in a lot of casinos out there, I think, to be counting cards. Yeah, that's what we're going to be looking at. We're going to be working the Blue Ridge Escarpment, the southern edge there. Upstate South Carolina, maybe near Pretty Place for fall colors. Nice tower here off to my northeast. So I'm going to continue to watch that area there. It looks like some better vertical development than some of these other things we've been watching. That is that tower just to the northeast of Cherry Valley up there. The one west of Dyersburg appears to be weakening a bit on radar. Conway as well. It's possible that we're about to begin some new convective initiation out ahead of it, maybe along that boundary. Prefrontal trough kind of deal there. Gizmo's in my lap right now. She's doing good. She had some chicken nuggets. Could easily be a nothing burger today too. Keep that in mind. Watching those towers, that one's up north of Cherry Valley. Probably not getting anything today. Well, you never know. You're not going to get anything if you don't chase. You got to get out here and chase to have a chance. So the Storm Prediction Center does have a bimodal 5%. Northeast Arkansas into western Tennessee. Western Kentucky is the southern mode. And also further north, now northeastern Ohio into northwestern Pennsylvania. Looks like it's mainly the northern mode up there. First ditch, just crossed it. Almost in Tennessee. Heading in that direction. Speed limit is 45 here. Slower than I thought. Struggle under the internet connection here. On it anymore. Just have a little bit. But definitely not as powerful as an environment as they had in Oklahoma on Sunday and Tuesday with that low-level jet ripping 40 to 60 knots there, accelerating. Very disorganized. Central Arkansas all the way up. Not seeing any candidates except for maybe that one to the southwest of Dyersburg, which is kind of interesting. About to intercept a nothing burger here. Stay tuned. Maybe a tornadic supercell. I suspect that we'd have to get pretty lucky though. But the Storm Prediction Center does have a 5% risk of tornadoes. We're headed east of Bald Knob. Bald Knob. I am seeing some convection to my northwest along that outflow boundary that is looking a little bit better. Beautiful wetlands back there. Beautiful. Fantastic wetland. Beautiful river. Probably some water moccasins down in there. Well, I am starting to watch some of those convective bases off to the north up there. Yeah, I wanted to invite Bob for these last chases, but I want it to be the perfect chase. They're also doing that Full Send podcast, which, you know, they get millions of views and everything. They've got like Shaq as a guest and everything, so I figure I'll just kind of wait until he's ready to chase and wants to come out and find me. And the last event looked like it was going to be more of a nocturnal tornado threat, so not ideal to have Bob come out just yet. No, I wasn't in an accident. Definitely not. You talking about Hurricane? Are you talking about Hurricane Nicholas? Bob Menery, he does those voiceovers. He has like the Monday Night Football voice. Comedian. Did a lot with golf. Does funny videos on social media, and now has a big podcast called the Full Send Podcast. They have a ton of viewers, like millions of views. And we've been discussing doing a collaboration. Gizmo's favorite nuggets are McDonald's nuggets. Loves McDonald's. Gizmo's with me. I've chased many bad storms in Georgia, tornado warnings, rain-wrapped tornadoes. I've chased in almost all states, different countries too. Thank you guys for tuning into Storm Rising. The new episode coming up on Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, is going to be the Hurricane Laura episode. So strongly encourage you to tune in on that one. It's in Lake Charles. Sadly, still recovering today. Still blue tarps on many of the roofs there in Lake Charles area. So we deploy the Windy Palms. We deploy the subsonic for the first time. Where the next storm's gonna go. See this outflow boundary that stretches back to those storms near Little Rock. Might even need to get ahead of that. Not really seeing anything that interesting. Maybe that storm near Osceola. Decent tops on it now near Blytheville. Near Osceola, Blytheville, that storm crossing the river. But not very well organized. No supercell structure is apparent. Coming on in, approaching the Mississippi River. See some of those towers off in the distance. I think we're getting a little bit of subsidence and in the vicinity of this little boundary here, northeastern Arkansas. It might be the focus for renewed convective initiation later on. Yeah, the new outlook from SBC comes out in about 25 minutes. Suspect it'll push those probabilities into western Tennessee, maybe western Kentucky for the southern mode. See, those anvils way off in the distance are in northern Mississippi. Yes. Come on. Whoa. Gizmo gets anxiety when we stop the vehicle. She wants to go out all the time, even when I just get gas. She doesn't like it when I exit the vehicle. at all. I don't know about western Kentucky. I don't like those westerly surface winds up there. Those westerly surface winds beneath westerly winds in the mid-levels as a unidirectional profile. You gotta try to find out those areas east of the front where there's just a little bit of directional shear. One area is kind of ahead of this very subtle decaying MCV associated with the supercells. So last night, middle of the night in Oklahoma City, one of those had a pretty suspect radar signature. It looked like it might have even spun up a quick tornado embedded within the rain. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was some damage reported with that. See some University of Kentucky flags getting flown here. Having a surprise, incredible season up there at other stoops. Hey, thanks, Chris. It's great that you're out there chasing an Oklahoma tornado warning, huh? Did those ones up into western Kentucky go warned? I think that Don is on one of those storms. Yeah, there it is. Way up into western Kentucky. Holy cow. It did go warned. Looks like it does have some decent rotation with it too. Northeast of Mayfield, tornado warning. Kind of surprised with those westerly surface winds, but there's enough bulk shear that if you can kind of find a pocket of weaker winds. The one near Dyersburg is also starting to organize. Probably behind the whole event anyway. I got a little distracted back there by that storm west of Conway. A couple of my storm chasing friends were texting me about it, and next thing you know, we're behind the 8-ball. That's one challenge you're going to have to deal with when you're out here chasing is you get a lot of people trying to share their 2 cents when you're out here. I think the key for me storm chasing moving forward is to kind of be in isolation and a cocoon a little bit, cut off communication with the outside world, just chase. And then we can reconvene after the chase, see how everybody did, see how the forecast was. That's the way to go. Or else then everybody just kind of gravitates into an average or a herd. Caleb Williams. Does look like a quick tornado warning up there east of Mayfield, Kentucky, but I'm not seeing very strong rotation, but it could easily fire up a tornado on the edge of those northerlies. It's got a pretty strong hook on it. Big northerlies streaming in. But not a very well-defined couplet. All northerlies there. The red, those are northerly winds along the hook, wrapping around the back side of the hook there. A little bit of inflow coming in on the east side as well. Kind of headed in the direction of western Tennessee. Definitely not the best, but I do chase a lot. I've had some streaks where maybe I could have been considered one of the best. 2007 probably. 2011. Those are some big years that I had. 2015, 16, 18 was a good year. 19, I made a lot of mistakes. So starting about 2019 is when I've kind of been on this couple-year rough patch, 19, 20, 21, but I'll probably snap out of it in a big way in 2022. Even during the bad years, though, the key is to still get a lot of tornadoes. Even during the years when you're making some mistakes, if you still get 30 tornadoes, then you're dominating. Even Tom Brady had some bad years, too, in there. many years in a row of some bad years even. Just got to keep chasing. I am looking east at some of this convection here in western Tennessee that is trying to get a little bit more hard. I'm only about 20 or 30 miles west of Memphis right now. Cumulus field. It's possible the event is passing me by, moving into western Kentucky and western Tennessee right now. And I'm trying to catch it. I'm trying to catch the tail end of this event, this other mode here, moving into western Tennessee. Had a big year in 2003 also. 2002 missed a few good ones, but should have seen the happy Texas tornado in 2002, May 5th. Had a big year in 99. Was dominating in 99. I'm in Dominator 4. This is my favorite Dominator. Hey, even Aaron Rodgers has had some bad years. But, you know, when you've chased for 5 years, you're noticing trends that are like 1 to 2 years long, maybe in-season trends. You see people that have a hot hand within certain windows, like in the Corn Belt or in the Southern Plains within a certain given year. Then when you storm chase for 10 years, you start to notice little 2 to 3 year runs in there. And when you've storm chased for 50 years, you start to notice those on the 10-year time scale, better decades than others would happen. So everything is always relative, depending on how new you get obsessed with this incredible hobby of ours. One thing you'll learn by storm chasing a long time is how to deal with failure, how to deal with busts, because it's kind of baked into storm chasing. There's a certain level of uncertainty. You can only drive so fast, you can't instantly change storms. So there's always a little bit of that level of uncertainty too. It's almost like poker. Even if you're the perfect poker player and make all the perfect hands all the time, you're still going to suffer periods of loss. But the key is to stay focused on the environments that these storms are moving into, stay focused on the meteorology, and then in the long run, eventually, you'll gravitate toward success. No, I'm glad I'm not in that Mayfield storm, even though I would be in a tornado warning. I just don't think it has the best tornado potential with those westerly surface winds. If anything, I like that Dyersburg storm. Northwestern Tennessee. I'm behind it, but I'm going to catch it eventually, probably near Jackson. Storms in the northwest are starting to intensify as well. South of Newport there. Russell, Bradford. So I am still keeping northeastern Arkansas in play. Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Definitely showing some rapid convective intensification back there in northeastern Arkansas. Be the best bet. could also see something coming out of that area to the north of Memphis. Tough forecast, honestly. Do I get ahead of the storms that are crossing the Mississippi River? Do I catch a flight up to northeastern Ohio? Looks like the ones to the north of the Mississippi are starting to mature, or do I go back to the ones that are developing in northeastern Arkansas? I don't want to haul ass just yet because of those storms that are showing some promise a little bit back behind me too. They dropped the tornado warning in western Kentucky. Still has supercellular characteristics though. The one down over Dyersburg right now is looking pretty interesting. Keep an eye on that one long term. Love to be on that one right now, actually. One to the south of it's looking quite interesting too. That one we'll be able to catch in the Jackson area by about 4:30. Maybe it's best just to keep on going east as that convective line grows back to the west over Arkansas. You can see the tower out to my northeast, the base of that one. That's the biggest top, just east of Blytheville. That one would be a right mover. severe thunderstorm warning with that cell in western Kentucky now. Supercell near Dyers looks very favorable. I'm going to probably get it north of Jackson. It'll take me a while. Still a ways out. Cutest one. Yeah, Gizmo's not on the Laura episode. I just sing to Gizmo mostly. Mostly I do. Mostly at night. Only since coronavirus started. Doing this long ass time. I am going to be getting another phone so I can run a more restart. Pull over and do some dabs. Advancing. 19 miles, 64 head east. Second still running. Still back, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thinking about growing the mustache back again now that we're approaching the cold season in the fall. Makes me feel like a new person when I have it. You know, I have a little more gritty. Got a little more tenacity when I have my mustache. A little more gritty. Searching for grit these days. Sometimes you gotta dig deep for it. Sense. I think those two storms there in far northwestern Tennessee have a chance of maturing and developing a tornado threat as they approach the I-40 corridor, just to the north of the I-40 corridor. I think everything in Arkansas probably is going to be less likely to happen. More westerly surface winds there. Coming into Memphis. It's okay, come on over. Go around here, buddy. Sweet drop. Dyersburg storm appears to be organizing. I could be on any storm, I'd want to be on that one, just south of New Bern. It's definitely starting to rotate quite a bit better. have any chance of getting a tornado, I'm probably going to have to be ahead of that line. At 40. Although the main energy coming into northeastern Arkansas right now. Probably downgrade to a 2% tornado in the next outlook. Unless the stuff northeast of Memphis has a chance, and that's what I'm going for right now. I like the Dominator 4 is maneuverable. That's really the main thing that I love about it. Very maneuverable. Small, quick, good gas mileage. It's a good deployer of instrumentation, ground-based probes and whatnot. It's nimble, you can see out of it. I also love the dents. I love the damage that I've done to it. I've become attached to Dominator 4. It's like an old pair of jeans. I just love it. I don't really like nice things. I just like things that I'm familiar with and attached to and emotionally attached to, you know, like I don't really like nice things. I do like functional things. Like my mountain bike. I like my pants, the pair of pants, the shorts that I'm wearing right now. I love Gizmo. Love this car. Love family, friends. Storm chasing, being free on the open road. Like the Valentine Rabbit. Woo! Yeah, that's my mountain bike. The Dyersburg storm is the most interesting right now, looks like. Echo tops, though, I'm really starting to like the Arkansas stuff a little better. I'm going to pull over and start looking here soon. It is starting to rotate. That outflow boundary is going to be an issue also. Harrisburg would be a good place to kind of wait for that mode to come in. Storm, somebody used to be going all day. Hey, that's Dyersburg. Truman. They're going to turn right eventually, too. My ass, please. to go up to south of Jonesboro and wait for that cluster of storms. They don't look that great. I don't know. Holy cow. What a fart. Pull over here trying to figure out, look at some data. I do think those storms are starting to intensify though for a little ways. Okay, maintaining, going back to Western Tennessee. A possible low-level jet increase later on this evening. Back to the original plan. So, a couple of options. I've got some convection trying to intensify back along the cold front in northeastern Arkansas, but I've still got those that convection near the Mississippi River, far western Tennessee, Dyersburg, down to North Memphis along that Theta E axis. That also has the potential to continue intensifying along that outflow boundary. And as we get a little closer to 0Z, the low-level jet begins to increase. And I do think that there is a chance that we could squeeze out enough low-level shear to maybe get an isolated noodle there to the east of Memphis closer to this evening. Maybe associated with that current convective line that's meandering toward the I-40 corridor to the east of Memphis. So my plan now is to get through Memphis, get into western Tennessee, take the I-40 corridor up toward Jackson, and then I'll be in position to get any of these supercells that may intensify into western Tennessee. Western Kentucky did not. Looks like that kind of subtle surface low is over the Missouri boot heel right now. Stream of 2000 Cape starting to nose into the south side of Memphis. And it does look like that by 0Z, the convective line, possibly some supercell storms, is going to be located just to the east side of Memphis. So that's kind of what I'm going for now. 4 hours from now, and that line will be on the east side of Memphis, possibly with a tornado threat, isolated tornado or two. You got to play the puck where it's going to be, not where it is right now. That's the key. The Irishman, Connor McElroy. Talking about the Irishman, Connor McElroy. Still watching that Dyersburg sale. I think they didn't probably still has the best shot. Fanatic down the line. It's about even with Jackson, due north of Jackson, quite a ways north of Jackson. Talking about the Irishman. Does seem a little bit more progressive than it needs to be. See the tower on it, at least one of them. It might be the southernmost one. Yeah, as that lead storm goes, I'm hoping I can catch it. It might take me until 5 p.m. out near Jackson or northeast of Jackson, but actually hoping that that southern cell is able to latch onto the low-level jet and turn right, move off that boundary a bit. They got pretty distracted by the storm. Chasers wanted to be on that storm to the west of Little Rock earlier, and really needed to stick to my target and head on into western Tennessee. I'm in my dream car right now, Dominator 4. We don't get through Memphis during rush hour, then the chase is probably over to the Arkansas side. Everything's capped though for the most part. Dominating. I'd like for that cell to the west of Ripley to really intensify. Slow down, Tennessee! Rocky Top, Tennessee! Rocky Top, Rocky Top, Rocky Top, Tennessee! Rocky Top, Tennessee! Rocky Top, Rocky Top, Rocky Top, Tennessee! Rocky Top, Rocky Top, Rocky Top, Tennessee! Right now we are approaching the Mississippi River. I can see downtown Memphis off to the east-northeast. Gizmo's in my lap dominating, ripping ass every 5 to 10 minutes or so. I can see the storm off to my northeast that has some better tops. It's right along this little outflow boundary, kind of a prefrontal trough type of a feature out here. Severe thunderstorm watch extends from Little Rock into western Tennessee, western Kentucky. One tornado warning so far to the east of Mayfield, Kentucky, but didn't produce, mainly northerlies. Rocky Top, Tennessee! Way too young to be having kids. I have no son, no daughter. Rocky Top, Tennessee! Josh Heupel's out there now in Rocky Top. And a storm to the east of Dyersburg now is starting to show some intrigue. I know that thing's probably going to produce eventually. Tornado warning. Little Rock. You gotta be kidding me. That's funny. Joke. This probably is a tornado too. Tornado warning just north of Jacksonville, Arkansas, back behind me a ways. Original target, Cabot, Arkansas. You need to be in your safe place. Probably a tornado. Pretty sure there's even a correlation coefficient, correlation drop on it. Also one up into western New York. That's under Little Rock Air Force Base, moving east at 40, possible tornado. Up near Wiener, Arkansas too, starting to get some more rotation. Kind of wonder if I should go to northeast Arkansas or not. Or do I hang out here just on the east side of Memphis, wait for storms to approach me, wait for the little level jet to increase? River plains are concerned. Still trying. He's supercell near Dyersburg. I wonder if one of these southern ones could hit the boundary. Prefrontal trough and move off of it as well. Also watching those storms back in Arkansas. That tornado warning just northeast of Little Rock is still there, but don't think it produced. Top Tennessee. The Dyersburg one has just been kind of struggling all day, but it is a supercell. It's headed appendage almost the whole time. It even looked like it could have had a tornado warning a few different occasions further northeast. Over in the left lane in front of this car carrier here. Yes, hello everybody, welcome to this road trip. Still headed east on I-40. Temperature well into the 80s, probably mid-80s right now. Dew points near 70, very moist. Changing of the seasons happening with this cold front. Some of the long-range models are even showing another trough toward the end of October coming into Tornado Alley, maybe portions of Dixie Alley as well. But today we're chasing this isolated tornado threat that's forecast to increase here in the next couple hours over western Tennessee. Watching this storm to the north of Jackson also that's been incredibly persistent. 5% area is just to the west of Nashville, but wouldn't be surprised if we do get quite a few tornado warnings even into middle Tennessee this evening. We're just going to continue to head east, staying ahead of this front. There is a tornado warning just to the northeast side of Little Rock, but westerly surface winds there, you'd think, would at least mitigate the tornado threat on the southwestern portion of this risk a little bit more. So I'm getting on to I-40 here, everybody. Headed east, and then we'll wait a little bit. It's a waiting game. Until you're on the storm. And probably could have stayed in Oklahoma City. Seen those storms at about midnight that developed around OKC. feeling good. So that guy needs to get over. Still does have that tornado warning. It does not look like a tornado's in the ground right now. But I am watching this area. The northwest of Memphis could be interesting. A lot of westerly surface winds though. Probably need to catch that right mover. 2000 Cape nosing into southwestern Tennessee right now. That's where that instability axis is going. Rock the top 10, I'll see. Actually, one of those rare bicentennials. Humans that live double as long. 200 years on average. Rare. I'm in the Dominator. I'm in the Dominator 4. Does seem like that Dyer's, we're still calling it the Dyersburg storm, but it's just east of Dyer. Seems like it's still trying to organize. Severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Jonesboro. That Wiener storm is kind of slamming into it. Uh-oh. Storm near Wiener is starting to look pretty good. Better organized. Jonesboro, severe thunderstorm warning. Cut me off! Whoa! Don't cut me off! Woo! This guy on my right was trying to come over. still watching that storm to the north of Jackson, trying to turn right. It's waiting for that instability axis to build in through southwestern Tennessee. And it's possible once it reaches it, it could go nuts. Rocky Top, Tennessee. Really good tornado that I saw was a really good tornado was June 10th up in near the North Dakota-Montana border. Intercepted a bunch of flash floods and debris flows July and to early August. Hurricane Ida and Hurricane Nicholas here recently. Lost the drone on some tornadic circulations and this wouldn't quite consolidate or plan into a massive tornado. One was near the Nebraska-Colorado border. And then both of these setups in Oklahoma was in the right storm, chasing it from southwest Oklahoma into central Oklahoma. Clinton storm on that south of Sayre. Got gas in Clinton then right when that tornado happened. Blasted south, turned around, went north, tornado. Weather Service should have kept that tornado warning for that storm the entire time. How soft everything looks. There's a little bit of subsidence dominating this eastern mode here in western Tennessee. It's possible though that with that low-level jet increase later on. Storm and the tornado warning is going to be allowed to expire. A couple scans, it looks pretty good. What up? Come on. 3, 2, 7. Come on. Whoa. Everybody driving crazy. Woo. Yeah, they did drop a tornado warning. Not surprising there in eastern Arkansas. A lot of veered winds. thing with Dominator 4 is if you turn down the air conditioning, it drives a lot better. Water? It's getting a little warm. Yes. Just excited all the time, I think. Feels like there could be tornado potential later on. Looking along that outflow boundary, not seeing much visually in terms of towers, but I'm still pretty out of position. There is not a tornado on the ground in Arkansas right now. That's fake news. Fake news. Dyersburg storm isn't looking very good though, so probably just gonna have to wait for this convection to come out of Arkansas. There is an outflow boundary up in there. Our original cell looks like it's about to undergo a cell merger, and it's starting to lose its identity a little. Calm winds. The setup looks like ass. Slow down, Red! Slow it down, Red! Popo! That cluster near Jonesboro doesn't look that good either, so maybe as that convective line approaches western Tennessee, maybe something can happen. Come on, Red! Most thirsty. Come. No? Okay. I start to see some of those towers off to the northeast now. Those lead ones. Doesn't look that great. Maybe that one that latches on the outflow down there in eastern Arkansas though. It's beautiful weather out here. Incredible weather. Probably not going to get anything. have to watch these storms coming out of Arkansas. I-40 is just insanity out here. You gotta be kidding me. Get some gas. Let me get some gas up here, everybody. And probably will be in a holding pattern, if I had to guess, for that convective line coming out of northeastern Arkansas, eventually arriving in western Tennessee here in an hour or two. Storm to the west of Mark's Tree. It's north of that outflow boundary, but it's possible that if it continues to go east, it could get more interesting. I wonder if there is going to be another hurricane intercept in the Gulf or Caribbean. Good thing we didn't go after Pamela. That ended up being kind of a weak, barely a hurricane. Might have been a tropical storm down there. Mazatlan. Get a reinvigoration of that updraft near McKenzie, it looks like. Severe thunderstorm warning in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, further north. Straight line wind damage up there. That's our formerly tornado warning storm out near Mayfield, Kentucky. Yep. Yeah, looks like that convective line is going to be just east of Memphis at 7 p.m. And in a couple hours, it'll be pushing into Middle Tennessee. right now, allowing that convective line to mature over northeastern Arkansas. I want to see what happens when that low-level jet increases a little bit closer to sunset here across western Tennessee. The storms I was originally targeting loosely across western Tennessee are dying. Subsidence. I'm going to wait here to western Tennessee for that line to arrive. Environment looks like ass. Loossahatchee River. People laughing at my car. They did issue the only tornado, well, one of two tornado warnings that we've had today. I'm just south of this outflow boundary, so I think that if the mature supercell can interact with that outflow boundary, it might have a little bit weaker wind at the surface, a little more speed shear can be associated with it. trail. Gizmo's finally nice and rested too. Oh, yes. Texting. Come here, Goose. We're back. Yes. So I think what we got here is you can see those due southerly winds in western Tennessee, and you can see those west-southwesterly winds all on the front there in eastern Arkansas, back behind it just a little bit to the west. I think we either need this convective line to reach those southerlies, or maybe these cells mature in northwestern Tennessee and are able to turn off to the right. It's very possible that the northern section of that convective line could cross the Mississippi into western Tennessee. Gizmo has a little anxiety from when I went into the bathroom there. I'm back, yes? Once I start driving, she'll calm down. Slow deep breaths. Yeah. I start driving and she calms down. actually have a storm? No way! Looks like the outflow boundary is starting to convect just to my northwest. So I'm going to be pulling over here shortly. I'm coming up here and waiting for that storm to mature, but I think we're finally about to get convective initiation right along this outflow boundary in western Tennessee. See that little gipper of a supercell off to my northwest. I'm going to stop there and allow that storm to mature along the outflow boundary. Ooh, I just saw some fall colors back there. Some of the beautiful sumacs. It actually has a storm. Weak sauce. Rocky Top, Tennessee. You don't want to be on that stuff in Arkansas, even though it has a severe thunderstorm warning. And yeah, it'd be cool to be on a nice dark sky stream, but I'm trying to find tornadoes out here. And if I try to give you guys the goods right away, I'm going to miss the tornado when it actually happens. It's like that jackass that came on here and is like, Reed never finds the storm front. I do like these storms along the outflow boundary and storm off to my northwest. It's about to cross the river. It's starting to look interesting. So I'm going to pull over here at this next exit and come up with an intercept plan. I'm going to head up toward the Covington area. I do want to scope out that supercell that's maturing to just to the west side of Covington. Thinking about just turning off the stream, honestly. Might as well. It's more of a pain in the ass than anything. I'm fired up when I get on a storm for you guys. In the meantime, you can watch some of those amateur chasers further west. Watch some of those amateurs out there. Little one. Oh, I won't stop. Just won't stream. I'm not going to Lawrenceburg. I'm going to be probably heading up toward Covington. Still that tornado warning up into western New York. Yeah, we do need some moderators on here. Just got rid of pest.